All right, let's talk about George Bernard Shaw's play Arms and the Man. And look, this thing is just brilliant. On the surface, it's a comedy, sure, but what it's really doing is launching this all-out attack on those fairy tale romantic ideas we all have about war and about love.
So let's just jump right in with a quote that honestly tells you everything you need to know about the play's main conflict. You can't be a soldier without knowing how to starve gracefully. Wow. I mean, right there, in one sentence, you have the whole thing. The fantasy of war, all the glory and heroism, smashing right into the ugly, gritty truth. This is basically Shaw firing the first shot in his own war on romanticism.
And who's the one who says this? Well, it's the guy who basically kicks off the entire story. And let me tell you, he is not your typical soldier, not by a long shot.
This is Captain Bluntschli, and he is not your dashing hero. No way. He's not charging into battle for glory. He's a professional, a mercenary just trying to do his job and stay alive. The whole chocolate cream soldier thing, yeah, it's supposed to be an insult, but it actually becomes this perfect symbol of his mindset. It's all about survival, being practical. He's this walking, talking piece of anti-war irony, and he's about to crash headfirst into a world that's built on nothing but pure fantasy.
Okay, so let's check out this world that Bluntschli is about to completely turn upside down. And right at the very heart of it all is our leading lady.
So meet Raina Petkov. When we first meet her, she's basically living inside a fantasy novel that she wrote for herself. Seriously. In her mind, war is this grand stage for heroes, and love? Well, love has to be this huge, dramatic, opera-level production. Nothing less will do.
And you can see it perfectly when she talks about her love for her fiancé, Sergis. She calls it a higher love. What does that even mean, right? It means that for Raina at the beginning of the play, love isn't just about connecting with someone. Oh no, it's a performance. It's got to be poetic, it's got to be grand, almost untouchable for it to even feel real to her.
So, this higher love, who's it for? Well, let's meet the so-called hero of the story, the guy who's supposed to be the perfect romantic ideal.
Here he is, Sergis Saranov. And I mean, he looks the part, he sounds the part. He's famous for leading this big cavalry charge, which, as our pal Bluntschli later points out, was a completely idiotic and suicidal move that only worked because of pure dumb luck. So on the surface, Sergis is the perfect hero. But Shaw, being Shaw, is about to show us that it's all just an act.
And this is where Shaw just starts to pick him apart, piece by piece. That bravery? Total performance. Does he ever learn anything or grow as a person? Nope. And get this, while he's talking all about his higher love for Raina, he's on the side flirting with their servant, Luka. His heroism, it's like one of those fancy chocolate eggs, Beautiful on the outside, but you crack it open and there's nothing inside. It's completely hollow.
This is really the core of the whole play right here. You've got Sergius on one side, thinking life is some grand opera. Then you've got Bluntschli, who's just like, nope, it's a bunch of problems we need to solve. It's this epic battle between putting on a show and actually getting things done. And poor Raina, she's stuck right in the middle of this tug-of-war.
So what happens? What happens when Raina is finally forced to choose between these two guys, these two whole ways of seeing the world? Does she stick with the beautiful illusion she's always loved? Or does she go with the shocking, messy reality that's staring her in the face? And this is Raina's journey. It's really the main arc of the entire play. She goes through this incredible transformation. And Bluntschli, our chocolate cream soldier, he's the one who sets it all in motion. His brutal honesty is like a splash of ice-cold water to the face. It makes her see all the cracks in her little fantasy world, and eventually, she just throws the whole thing away. She chooses something real, a partnership based on honesty and, well, reality.
But here's the key difference. While Raina is actually growing up, Sergis doesn't. At all. He ends up with Luka, the servant, but it's not because he had some big change of heart. Nope, it's just a convenient way to save face after everyone finds out he's a hypocrite. He never actually changes his worldview, he just swaps one romantic pose for another one.
So if we lay it all out, it becomes super clear. Raina makes this huge leap from a naive romantic to someone who can actually see things for what they are. Sergius, he goes nowhere. He just kind of shuffles his social cards around. He's completely static. And Bluntschli, our realist, he's the one who's proven right in the end. His practical, honest way of looking at the world, turns out that's what's actually valuable.
And that, ultimately, is what Shaw is getting at. He's using these characters to shout from the rooftops that what's real,
what's practical, what's honest, that's always going to be more powerful, more lasting than even the most beautiful, romantic lie you can come up with.
Which leaves us with a really provocative question, doesn't it? In a world that's just drowning in performance and posturing, and I mean, sound familiar? Maybe the bravest, the most heroic thing a person can do is just tell the truth. It's a heck of a thought, and it feels just as urgent today as it must have when Shaw put pen to paper.